think about it, make sure that both your hands are just as strong as each other. You can. A lot of people are kind of right dominant because especially a lot of classical music kind of calls for a strong right hand and a very casual left hand. Where this hand does all the work and this one does. It takes a little holiday. So make sure both your fingers, you're doing exercises that strengthening both your fingers, both hands. Mine are now balanced. It took a long while, but mine are now balanced. So that's rock. And in fact, if you want to do rock and roll, learn that in every key. I used to learn this in D flat. Learn to get a strong left hand. And then there's a thing called funk. Funk was the hardest thing for me to learn because funk music really requires a drummer and a bass player. It's hard to do it by yourself on the piano, but if you can play funky, you'll get to work. Funk kind of is a lot of 16th notes just going back and forth with your hands. Something like that. Anytime you do a groove, you need to get that pulse in your head and try and telegraph that pulse. Get that pulse going through. It's hard to get the technical side and then get the pulse going at the same time. So there's a bunch of styles. There's a bunch of different styles that we do at this, and I've been called upon to do them all. I will say one thing real quickly. I'm going to get some of you up to play, so I'd like to hear you. So much I loved about this. Number one, the thing that stuck with me most about this was that he never lost time. His tempo at the beginning was the same tempo as at the end. Good sense of time, really good. And there was a bit you did in the middle where I think you did a kind of, no, stay where you are, I think you did like a, some triplets against the field.
Yeah, that was like the hardest part of the song.
Yeah, yes it was.
It took me forever to learn like that. It's like all syncopated.
It is. That is harder than you could possibly imagine. And the great thing is, I noticed that during that bum, 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 his left hand didn't flinch. It stayed dun, 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 right there on the pulse. And it was really good. You seem to have independence in both your hands.
Yeah.
Because you're doing some that stuff on here, but this left hand is constant. I want to try something with you. I noticed you didn't kick pedal in until the second or third verse.
Yeah, I put it in at like one point because like I don't know, I liked it in that part. Like,
And it totally works in that part too. I want to try it. Give me just play the left hand at the beginning if you're doing that. Bum, 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 bum. Right. Now do something. Now do something for me. Do it again. But when you depress the pedal when you go, and then lift it when you go. So it's going down, up, down. Now do the same thing again. Play everything just a little bit lighter, except when you depress the pedal, put a little accent. So I'll ask me to do a lot of stuff here. Feel it? Now do it once again, same way you were doing it before with no pedal. Do it the way you did it at the beginning. Do you hear the difference? Now play it the new way. Simple little alteration because he has the rhythm. He has the rhythm going. It's just a case of knowing where the pedal should go. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Feel that?
Yeah. It really like changes like the
change. Very good, very accurate. You can say it's all right. Really, and obviously you know that because you all play piano. That's not hours of practice. That is months and months of practice right there to get that right. How big are your hands? You've got long fingers. Good. I was going to say because long fingers. I don't have long fingers. These little stubby little things here. So when I play Chopin, I've got to really work, and it's pretty hard. So you've got the notes and everything under your fingers. Chopin doesn't tend to write a lot of expression into his music that probably could be there. I'm going to give you a couple of things. Play me that opening chunk with the first few chords. Now do it again, and slow down as you go through it. No, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. Start at the right speed, but do a big retard. And then into it. Make us wait. In Chopin, he sets us up for something all the time. He kind of sets us up for something, and then we'll go into it. And we know something's coming. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Anytime you know something else is coming afterwards, make them wait for it. Yeah, these guys are here for free. You know, so listen to you play, right? So make them wait for that. That's really cool. Do that one more time with a big, and then carry on. this is kind of like a technical exercise. There's lots of notes on the right hand and a few notes on the left hand. So we need to give this some kind of shape and phrasing. Try picking it up from where I believe it's presto or allegretto or something. As you go up the piano with the right hand, crescendo. As you come back down, decrescendo. Do you hear it breathing? Hear it starting to breathe now, because it's got phrasing. It's got it's got a natural breath. It actually breathes. There was a bit in the middle that I can't remember. Something like that. I can't remember this one. It's. Can you pick it up from? Yes, that's the one. You might have to go back a few measures. No, that's okay. It's hard to start in the middle of something like this. You know what, start wherever you like. Start wherever you like, even at the beginning if you need to. Right? It's just one of those moments where it's like a roller coaster. The coaster's going up and that's going down, but you take off again. There are these moments in Chopin that allow you to do that. Can you play me the last few measures? I'm trying to think where to tell you to go from. Yeah. Perfect. Do that again. Start really soft. By the time you get to before you do it. By the time you get up there, I want to hit fortissimo and slam on the brakes right at the end. Right? Yes. Make those last three notes. How are you fingering those last three notes? Okay, what are your the fingers probably aren't as strong as mine. I think you can do 3 if you want to. I want to hear fortissimos on those. Yeah, that's a fortissimo. Do it again. And on those last three notes. See, you tripped over them slightly. Make those last three notes really, really important. Take your time with them if you need to. There we go. Yes. That's a yes. Those three notes, let's say those are the three notes everybody's been waiting for as we're going up. It's the note that says that the burgers are ready and it's time to go out and have barbecue. The world's listening to that. Go for it. There we go. Yes. It was very declarative. It's like, we've reached the top! And the next chord after that is boom. Yes. How do you? Yeah, that's it. That's a tough stretch for you there. So what you need to try want to do is, if you can put more weight on the little finger when you... Yeah, I think your fingers will strengthen as you do that. I'm trying to think of any way of helping you make it feel powerful, but I think it's kind of tough. Good. Give us that. And then wait a minute. Bom, bam. Yes. Give us a nice little. So do those last 3 chords again. Yes. But don't break them. Don't break from the F to the B flat. So. Yeah. It's basically when you do that first chord. We know something else is coming. So make us wait for it. Bom, bam. And it finishes off. That's awesome. How about it? Absolutely. And of course the original is for full band, drums and everything, so to convert that down to a piano is a hard thing to do. I think you did a fabulous job at that. Here's what I'll say to you, and actually you know that the pedal thing could be useful for you too. You know, up and down in time thing that'll give a natural lilt to it. We'll try that in a minute. Go from the D minor bit. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Right. Now, short notes, even in jazz, should never be thrown away. I've got to give you an example. Link those two up. Make those two legato. Yeah. How are you figuring that?
Not down.
I know. I'm making myself okay. So what I'm seeing you do is so speak 3. So if you do 2, 3. Yes, and now make the A short. Yes. Now do it and put an accent on the A flat. Yeah. In more of an accent. Make it a funny accent. Yes. Ba-ba. Do it again. The accent. That has a little bit more bounce to it. sometimes when you accent the pickup notes, that's what gives it the jazz. For example, and I'm just going to, there we go. If I did something like, now if I put the accent on, not on the, if I put it on the upbeats, the pickups, putting the accent on the beat that you don't expect it on, that's what sometimes gives it that jazz. And this can work all the way through for you. Do me the D minor thing again. Keep going. There was another place where you could do that. There we go. That was it. Yeah. And what you did was. Put the accent on the second one of those B flat. It's kind of tough, I know. It should sound something like whatever. It gives that little pickup note some actual room. So as you go through this, you can find little moments. And did you do this by ear or sheet music?
I got the chords from sheet music, but I just did everything else.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good then. Then I would say, because I would refer you to sheet music. So in that case then, when you've got pickups, yeah, you want to accent the downbeat for that. Accent the pickup. It gives it that kind of cheesy, what's the word for that, impudent jazz kind of feel. Start again, and there was one other thing, I'm trying to remember what it is. Start again. It's from the beginning, yes. Have you ever heard of stride playing?
No.
Stride playing is where you, instead of playing, you actually play. It's kind of hard. You do that, and you actually, you can.
What notes would I be going to? Like the.
It would be the same chord. What you would do is, so instead of doing beat octave, you do the octave. Because it's so repetitive, that's why I'm thinking you could do this. If the chords were all over the place, it would take so long to learn it. But I think if you can learn D minor, A7, which any configuration is fine. Because what you then do is you get down, up, down, up, down, up, and you know what you can get away with. I shouldn't say this. You can get away with just splatting your hand. Just splat your hand on the keys in the right place, and then you'll get. Jump thing going on.
Yeah.
If you could learn to do a stride thing. Now I'm playing the correct notes here. This is hard to do at speed, and I messed it up. So even if you just copy the chords in the right hand, yeah, you get it. Whatever it is, you'll get that. It'll make it a lot easier for you to groove along. You know what I mean? And feel that up, down kind of thing. I would say that's the next thing. I'm not saying what you're playing was wrong, because what you're playing was fabulous. But listening to what you were playing and going, okay, you did this by ear, you obviously have a feel for the music, and you've obviously got some musical integrity in you. That's what I would say be your next step with this. See if you get a stride thing going in the left hand, you get a jump, like a bass guitar, which will give you a lot more freedom in the right hand just to. I got it. So yeah, by putting some of that in and just see how that feels. And it's something you have to work slowly for a while. Once it becomes natural, you'll go, oh yeah, it'll actually generate its own energy and its own rhythm, which will allow you to just kind of lay back on it and have some fun with it. But
I'll definitely practice.
enjoy that. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun things to do. Good job. Very impressed with
Well
you.
done.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Supposing someone said, oh, I really want you to play that in the style of, what is that? Jazz. That kind of is jazz.
We're gonna make something else. How about making a march? Okay.
Something in March. I heard swing. So March. All right. Here's the march, or swing. That's taking it to an extreme. If you can improvise and you're asked. Bach is very good at writing music which has so much interest in, but Bach never put dynamics. No, that's not true. He rarely put dynamics in his music because most people of the day would understand where the melodies were, what has to come out. So he wouldn't do crescendos and diminuendos. He might say, play this loud, play this a bit softer, but he wouldn't do a lot of interpretive dynamics. And because the pianos of his day, or in fact the organ or the harpsichords that he would write for, really didn't have a lot of dynamic range. Certainly harpsichords don't have a lot of dynamic range, virtually none. And the forte piano that Bach would have, well actually the clavier, which was the original piano that he would have had, didn't have a lot of dynamic range. So now we have these Yamahas, we can put some really cool stuff in. Go ahead and start it one more time. Technically, it's really good, really good. You'll notice that every now and then there's this little motif, where he just has these little staccato notes. He's put those little staccato quarters, I guess they are, that tempo, because he wants the other hand to shine. because he couldn't say, especially on is this one of the preludes? One of the preludes. This would just be at the time when the well-tempered clavier came out, the piano that was tuned where you could actually play in any key and it all sounded right. And he proved it by writing 48 preludes and fugues, one in every different key, major and minor, which quite frankly was a lot of stuff to do just for, I mean, I would have just written a series of chords going up in every key, let's see, right? But he wrote 48 preludes and fugues, and I think this is the one in E, right? But at the time, it didn't have a huge dynamic range, so for the little melodies to come out, he would dum, 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 just put short notes so you could hear the movement. Try it again, and any time, this is going to be a big undertaking, see if you can do this. Any time you have the individual quarters, bring the other hand out.
Okay.
Let's try. We'll try a couple of measures at a time. See. Do you hear now the hands talking to each other? Yeah, and that's kind of that seems to me like what Bach's doing here. That's deliberate. It starts off actually in the left hand. Oh yeah, well, oh yeah. He's passing it back and forth. Try that one more time. Now I've explained that. Listen to it one more time. And when you have the moving in one hand and the short notes in the other hand, bring it out maybe a little bit more so we can hear that conversation. It's a conversation between the two hands. Go ahead. Left hand now. Oh, right hand. Right hand replies. Now the left hand's talking. Yeah, but what about well, right hand? Yada 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 yada. Oh, left hand. And then they carry on. Yeah. You see that now? How it's actually a conversation between the two hands. So bringing the different weights, because we can do that now with Yamaha pianos. Back then it was whichever hand had the most notes won. Now we can actually be dynamically sensitive about that, and so now you can hear the conversation coming out. So that's something you have to go through the whole piece and kind of go, who has the conversation? Oh yeah, well, did you do the laundry? Well, I've been busy today. Well, maybe you should have done it. Well, what about your mother? Well, my mother's out of town. Well, it's this kind of conversation between the two hands, and there's a lot of interest in there. That's really good. And how long have you been playing? 6 years. That's awesome to do Bach Prelude and Fugue for 6 years. Because Bach didn't care what his piano players. Here's something about Bach, I'll tell you. Bach had 2 years to write 104 cantatas for his church, which he did. There are 104 cantatas. And they expected one every week for 2 years. He spent the first year writing all 104. He wrote 2 a week instead of 1 a week for 2 years. He spent the second week writing all the stuff that he wanted to write that nobody would buy, which includes the art of fugue, preludes and fugues, and he wrote that because nobody would commission it, nobody wanted to buy it, but he wanted to write it. He wrote it and he shoved it in his bench and nobody found it until several years after his death. And now they use it on the Scooby-Doo movie. So how about that? How cool is that? That was fabulous. Well done, Samantha. And you get the gold.
Whenever you're ready, sir. That's okay, that's a great start, that's really good. So, what was your name again, I'm sorry?
surrender, at age 11 is tackling Beethoven's symphony. Okay? This takes some big shoes to tackle Beethoven's symphony. How long have you been playing? 5 years. Wow. This is good. It's aiming high. Okay, so obviously most of us know this symphony, right? Symphony number 5 by Beethoven. You have a lot of power here right at the very beginning. You can control your audience in a great way. Play me the first 4 notes. Okay, now do it again. Let's stop after the first 4 notes. Just play those da-da-da-da, and then stop. No. Hold, play da-ba-ba-ba, hold it, and then stop. And stop. Hear that silence in the room? They're waiting for the next line. Yeah? Look at them. Okay, come on, da-da-da-da. Come on, you can do it. Go on to the next line. Stop. Now they're waiting for the next one. You have them in the palm of your hand. Da-ba-ba-ba. Oh. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Alright. And then you can move on. Put a nice big break in there. This is like the doors have opened up and you've walked out. Alright, I've got a symphony for you people. So let's make this grand and bold at the beginning. Play the first motif. Do it again, but make sure those first 3 notes are all, don't rush them. The third one's kind of getting lost. Play them all in the Now next one. Then move on. There we are. Those last 2 chords. Hold that out and then wait. You've got to feed this to them in chunks, small chunks, because apart from the fact that it's a well-known piece of music, it's a stopping point. Go from da, 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 da. Now do that again, but when you get separate them and then wait after that aiming forward. And then you move on. So you have these. So you notice this is not one long continual piece of music. It has a da 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 and stops. Da 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 and stops. There you are. You can swallow that. All right, moving on. It's all these chunks. So every time you get to the end of one of these chunks, just wait a moment. Let them absorb it. I want to try one thing with you. I want you to start playing again, and I'm going to try something. Do I have permission to touch your arms, by the way? Okay, thank you. I'm not going to grab you or rip your arm off or anything, but I always have to ask. Oh, you're his father? Do I have permission to touch his arm? Absolutely. Okay, thank you. I always ask permission. I never grab somebody, anybody, without their permission. Start playing again. I'm going to do something. Don't worry about what I'm going to do. Okay, right. Now do the same thing again. We'll do the same thing to the left hand. I'm not going to tell you when. Alright, okay. You see what I did? He was playing, and I hit his arm.
Yeah.
Now, you've got a lot of tension in your arms, because normally, when I do that to somebody, their arms would flop out. There was a lot of resistance. It was really hard to, especially your right hand. And I've noticed your left hand is kind of down here a lot. And your right hand's up here a lot more, but because your right hand's up here a lot more, there's a lot more tension. So here's what you need to do. Make sure Hold your hand out, like that. Now form a C. It's a nice relaxed C, like you're holding that. Hold that like that, from above. Hold it up and open like that. Okay, now just let it go, just enough to drop it. Now, there we go, perfect. That's C. Do you see when you put your hand on the piano, all the fingers touch the piano at the same time? Now try playing like that. With the left hand like you were doing before, with your hand down. Now, do you see what happens? Your thumb doesn't reach. But if you do that C thing with your hand, now see how all the fingers, it's going to be a lot easier than if you do that. Because your thumb, you've got to pull forward to get your thumb. And what happens is you end up getting tight in the arms, okay, in tension. Learn to keep your hands nice and relaxed like this, and the wrists up. And it might help to raise the seat wherever you're practicing to start off with to make it easier. But this should be real relaxed, so that all fingers, yes, like that, all fingers are able to touch the piano at one time. And then just do all the work in the fingers. This shouldn't be tense. And maybe your father can every now and then when you're practicing just come up and whoop, hit the underside of your hand. If your hand goes flops like that, you'll do it. If your hand goes, I was pretty much able to do that and you barely move. Because when you get tense, if I tense on my arm, it's really hard to do that. If I relax, it's much easier. So just learn to relax. And when you're doing this piece of music, when you get to one of those stop points, stop. You know what you can really do? Wait about 15 to 20 seconds before you move on. You will drive your father insane because he knows what's coming next. And he'll be like, come on, come on, oh, thank you. That's an exaggeration. If you make your audience wait for the next chunk, they're eating out the palm of your hand. So just do each chunk, wait a minute, don't rush anything forward, declare that particular statement, and then move on after a pause. Relax your hands real, make all the fingers do all the work. Yeah, that's C position. There we go. That is a nice position. Now, just put your hands on there and just relax them. Relax the fingers. Right, watch this. Oh! See how high that came up?
Yeah.
Now start playing. Start playing anything you want. See, it hardly moves. So that's the thing. When you're relaxed and not playing, you are relaxed. Try and do all of the fingers. Don't tense up here. Okay. Because what you'll end up doing is get what's called carpal tunnel, and the muscle starts to tense, and you end up getting aching arms. And I see a good future for you. So you want to keep those arms in good shape. Yeah. Good job. Well done. Fantastic. Thank you.